All right, everybody, welcome back. This is, Angie, do you know what this is?
The year 2026.
Nope.
No.
This is MGM MarketAbiltiies podcast episode 100.
Stop. Did you say
We made it to 100.
We made it to 100. Wow.
I didn't tell her before we started.
I love that. And I sort of beefed up the number of years we've been on the air.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you're watching and listening, it's still 2024.
Yeah,
Okay.
when you're eating broccoli,
Yes.
which is different from regular broccoli.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
100 episodes.
Yeah, 100 episodes.
Jeez. Hey, make the confetti and stuff blow out here.
I don't know.
Yeah.
What?
How do you do that?
I don't know.
Okay.
Anyways, thank you for everyone who has watched,
Yes.
subscribed, listened, commented, or just sent us a DM.
Yeah.
I just got a DM the other day that somebody's been listening and they love it.
Awesome.
So that's awesome. We really appreciate you guys. It's been kind of a journey.
It
like
has.
there's been a lot of people in and out of the podcast. But it's just been fun.
Yeah.
And I think we've both grown a lot just doing the podcast
Yes.
and, coming up with ideas for it or just getting creative. And so it's been awesome.
Yeah. If you're a business owner, listen to this. So 2 times this past week, someone approached me and said, "Oh my gosh, I love the name of your podcast. I just caught it." 100
that's cool.
episodes. So
Yeah.
listen, if you start a podcast or you're starting your commercial work, baby, you got to be in it to win it. So
Yeah.
think about that. 100 episodes before we got the attention of 2 business owners who work not very far from here, both within an hour.
Yeah.
But that's how long it's taken them. And then of course, that's how it works on social media is when they see it, it'll pop off, it'll get more popular, in particular if people, like it.
And I think that speaks to the consistency too. So it's like you always got to be consistent,
Right.
even if you're not seeing the numbers right away. Like you just keep going.
Yeah.
Because if you really think and believe that the content's valuable, people will pick up on that.
100%. And we always advise our clients to speak in evergreen terms, which means anytime this plays anywhere, it's going to be relevant and they're going to be able to apply it to their lives in that space and time. What is it? We meet them where they are.
Yeah.
And we actually tell our commercial clients, whatever we do, be comfortable with what you're spending on your marketing because you need to be able to do that consistently for 3 months. We've come up with that number 3 months because that's when we were able to measure some success and justify writing that check for the next month and the next month.
Yeah.
And if we're doing it correctly, you of course want to build on that budget and not staying complacent or what you're doing. There's forever growth built in there.
Yeah, absolutely.
But the podcast has been the podcast has been very organic.
We don't really want to like overdo it. We just want it to be natural and we want to be valuable.
Yeah.
And kind of almost vulnerable a little bit, right? Because like we just
I was going to make a funny and now
wanna
you just
get
took me in
intimate.
this serious.
We wanna be
way.
intimate.
Yeah, we're being very intimate with you.
Does that open up your funniness?
No, you shut that down. But we have been very intimate with you guys. We were sharing some secrets and some ways that we deal with things and, beliefs and spirituality and all of that good stuff. I mean, I was just kidding. Like, this could pop off and then there we are. We have to just be these podcast people. We have to just give up everything else
we just
do.
turn into podcasters.
Yeah, we just talk all day.
Yeah.
I don't know that I would like that.
That's
I have
kinda
to
what you do.
diversify. You're right. That is kind of what I do. I talk all day.
Yeah,
You're right. Yes.
yeah.
All right. Well, cool. So
Okay.
listen. Yeah. What
So
you got?
today on this episode, for our 100th episode, we are going to talk about money. And the way we're going to talk about money is the biblical way.
The biblical way.
Is
Yes.
it good? Is it bad? Is it good, bad? Is it maybe good, bad? I don't know.
All of those things.
Angie's got all the details.
Do I? Because I
you have
found
some
conflicting
of the
results.
details.
Yes. So we know this day and age, it depends on what Bible you choose to read.
Yeah.
We have several variations where some people have decided to put it in layman's terms. Some people have decided to shorten it. Either way, it's the good book, and it's the good book for many reasons, or so we're told. That essentially every question of life is in the book. You may not want to know the answer, but every question of life
You may not agree with the answer.
is in the book. Yeah. And money or coins or some sense of currency, they happen to talk about that quite a bit. There are conflicting reports, but hundreds of times, whether it's coins, money, wealth, possessions. It's good
Yeah.
when you use it in a positive way. Now,
Right.
in 1 Timothy 6:10, it says, for the love of money, essentially, here's that one, you got to be super careful, the root of all evil, the love of money, not just obtaining wealth and using it for the kingdom or the betterment of everybody else around you.
Right.
But it can also be the root of all evil. And if you are too eager for money, like you will do anything to
Right.
be rich,
Yep.
you've just wandered away from faith and I think the grand plan.
Yes. And so there's a lot of people who actually like to manipulate this verse. They will say that money is the root of all evil.
No.
But if you look at the first 3 words, it says for the love of money,
Right.
which what he's saying here is basically like, if you start replacing money with me, then that's when it becomes evil. So as long as you're putting God first and
Right.
money behind that somewhere, whether it's behind your family, whether it's behind your relationships, whatever, there's plenty of places in the Bible where God's like, I'm going to bless you.
Absolutely.
Financially.
Absolutely. He actually wants us to prosper, because if we
Yeah.
prosper, what happens? We're able to help a lot of people. And when we help a lot of people, we're actually showing you the same kind of love that he shows to everyone. And sometimes people need their eyes open to that.
Yeah, and it's funny. It's like on last year I had a really big month. It was like in June. I think it was my biggest month I've ever had in my entire life financially.
Can I borrow some money?
Nah, it's all gone now.
Okay, so
I got married, Angie.
oh, that's right. That'll go away in a
Yeah,
hurry.
it was gone. But no, and you know what I was so excited about that month, and I was telling my friend about, was I get to write the biggest tithe check I've ever written.
Yay.
And I was like so stoked. I was like, I get to give all this money away. Like this
my
is the
friend,
biggest 10% I've ever given away, and I was
That's it.
so excited.
That's awesome. And, we talked about this before the podcast started. I think we all have a giving heart. It's within us all, and we all want to do it. But for a lot of people, it's overcoming the fear. Well, what if I let go of this? I mean, I need this to make my mortgage payment. I got to let it.
Right.
Man, you walk out in faith. You're out there.
Yeah.
You're just believing that he's going to provide, and he does. The problem is timing.
Yeah.
We're on that monthly cycle. We got to pay that mortgage bill,
And faithfulness too.
And
I mean,
faithfulness.
man, it's back to, so before we started, we were talking about the promise that God will give you,
Sure.
right? If you lean into that. And I think it's about faith, because I think there are a lot of times where God puts a promise on your life. He speaks to you and he's like, I think you should do this. And you're like, financially, I don't know how that's going to work. I don't know what that looks like. Like, I don't think that's real. And just to use my wife as an example, like the house that we bought a few years ago, neither of us could afford it. And neither of us really knew how that worked and what, like if you've ever bought a house, it's like
Sure.
all these unexpected
Nerve-wracking.
expenses just kind of pop up, and it's like this fee and that fee and this, closers thing or whatever. And then the inspection or what, all of it
Adds up.
It all adds up. And by the time we were done and we bought the house, both of our bank accounts were fine. And we were dumbfounded. Like we both looked at each other like, how did that happen?
How many sleepless nights did you have, like running over it in your head and you were afraid maybe going in and how's this going to work out and questioning everything?
Yeah, exactly. And but Lena knew as soon as we walked in the house, like she knew she wanted it. Like it was right. So
Right.
it's crazy. It's crazy.
The thing that I've been dealing with now is I'm really afraid to ask questions. Okay. So, and the reason I don't even want to look up sometimes, I don't want to go, really? I just want to say, okay, cool. I'm just keep going and hope it all stays on this course. Because what's happening, and this is another thing we can talk about, too many times when people, we're instructed to give with a giving heart, with a heart of, here you go, no expectations, and actually then going, not saying anything about it.
Yeah.
Not tooting your own horn.
Right.
Not, because what do they say? No matter how many people you help and no matter how good you do here on the earth, if you talk about it, well, guess what? You've gotten your earthly rewards. There you go. Good job.
Yeah.
But if you hold it and later there's that understanding of, oh, well, maybe you did bring these people to me through that act.
Right.
And no one had to know.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that going on in my life right now. And it's a balance. It's like, how much, are you to have more instruction with the person that you're trying to help out? Or, will God just work through you? Or will that be enough? Will that gift be enough to let them know, wow, maybe that was God moving? Maybe that is an unanswered prayer. Angie was just a vessel. She was just a vessel by which it was delivered.
Well, I think often, because there have been a few times in my life, it's actually in the worst financial times of my life, God has really told me you need to give that money away.
Over and over
especially
again.
like 2 years ago. I think I had like $500 in my account, and I sold some gear. I got like $250,
right?
And I was like, okay, cool. Like, this pads it out a little bit. And I was praying, and he was like, you need to give it to this person.
Away.
And I'm like, why?
Right. I'm like, are you sure?
Like, why? And then, especially because that person at that time, we didn't like each other.
Wow.
Yeah, we weren't okay with each other, but I knew that this person needed it. Like, I knew just from mutual friends. So I left it on their doorstep. Didn't say it was from me. Didn't nothing. And I just left it there. And then I would say like 3 or 4 months later, it was when I finally had like over $1,000 in my account for that first 6 months in a row. I would just, I was getting drained to the bottom. And
wow.
And I just remembered that, and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
That was it.
And I think there should be some clarification, because I've had people ask me of late, we say, well, God told me, well, he speaks to me. And it's not a Angie, and you're,
no,
yes, God.
It hardly ever is.
It hardly ever is.
Yeah.
It's a feeling. It's a thought. Listen, you are in control of nothing if you think about it. Any thought that you have, any success you have, anything that you go through life and you accomplish, it's not you. I'm sorry. I hate to break it to you. It was the grand plan. It was, it was God at work. But just out of the blue, especially if you keep yourself open to that, don't close yourself off. I mean, love people. We're instructed to do that first. And I think when we do that, that's when it becomes very clear. Mm-hmm. You may get a name. You may get, I met this person and I know what they need right now. And it's the clarity is crazy.
Yeah.
But it's a thought.
Yeah.
And it's not yours. It was put there.
Yeah.
Like, go do it. Mm-hmm. And then, okay, if you're not sure, sit on it.
Well,
and if it comes back,
sit on it, or and if you are at a church, I always address one of my elders about it. Like, hey, I heard this and I'm not so sure about it. Mm-hmm. Can you tell me if this is right or wrong? Mm-hmm. Can you pray about it for me? Can you know what I mean?
Right.
Just get that second opinion.
Right.
And there are even things too that I've noticed where I'll get like a word, or so God will speak to me about something, and it's something that I've really started to sit on. It was like, okay, I'm not going to say a word about it to anybody.
Right.
And I'm going to wait for him to confirm it. Mm-hmm. And so I'll pray like, God,
and he does
confirm this for me. Mm-hmm. And then if he does, then I'm like, okay, this is real,
But if you forget about it, like the next day, maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was just your consciousness and you're thinking about
totally
this
fine.
person. Yeah. And so if that happens, don't be afraid to let that person know, hey, by the way, you crossed my mind the other day. I thought about you the other day, because that too can mean a lot to somebody, that you took the time to think of them and pray for them and be with them in a situation. So
that's actually been one of the best things I've done lately. I've gone out of my way to text a few of my friends lately that I just don't call. Like, we just don't live close to each other. We don't see each other. We don't really even see each other on social media that much. And I'll just text them like, love you, man.
Means everything.
It just, I don't know why, but it makes my day, it makes their day better.
Yes.
Yeah, it's that simple.
Wow. So cool. Like, I got a call from a gal, love her. She's a former basketball mom. Our kids went to school together, whatever. She called me the other day. She was on speaker. So, my husband was there with me, and she goes, hey, I just have to tell you, you are fine, girl. You look good. I didn't know what she was talking about, because at the time, it's like, what? But she goes, you look great. I've been seeing you. And you know what? I had no idea what she was talking about, but just trying to lift me up. Yeah. Just trying to offer a positive comment. And it changed the course of my day, the trajectory of my day. And, it made me smile, and it made me love her more. And we don't do that enough. Leave nothing unsaid. And that goes, listen, if you're a business owner, this can be personally, this can be applied to your business. Success comes from adopting some rules and sticking to them, in particular rules of being kind, giving, loving.
Yeah.
That stuff pays off. It pays dividends.
Yeah.
That right now we can't be taxed on.
I mean,
sorry.
that was good. That was good. I like that. That was really good.
You're gonna let me have it.
That was really good. But for example, like even last week, whenever I went a little bit further on our giveaway, and you were questioning it, you were like, "Wait, should we do all this more extra for this, for this prize winner?"
Yes.
And in my mind, I was like, "Yeah, absolutely." Like, because it could pay dividends.
Yeah, I know
and
what you're talking about.
I think it will.
It already has.
I think it already has. I think it already will.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, look, we don't know why. I mean, we've been able to break down in this world of business the top 5%, the 95%, but we've learned that the world changers go out on faith.
Yep.
So if you don't take anything else from this podcast, you want to make a difference, you want to be more successful, you want to change lives around you, go out on faith.
Yeah, which is, people are like, I don't understand that. Like, I don't understand like going out on faith. It's just risk.
Yeah.
Like that's
you can't
literally
really even measure it.
That's literally all it is. It's just like you're just risking
some risk. Yeah.
And you just have the faith that it's going to work out, right? I mean,
I love that.
That's how anybody's gotten ahead or done something extra. Is like they just risked what they had. They're well, this is all I have. I'm just going to go for it and see what happens. And
no risk, no reward, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or no actual reward, not the reward that you want. Mm-hmm. But there's always a reward.
That's another podcast.
Just not the one that you want.
Think about it. All right, MarketAbilities, produced by Growing Media. We thank you for being here on our 100th episode. I feel like we need to bring people in like a marching band.
Okay, let me call.
But no, it's meant to be our marketing tool for reaching businesses because we're here and you did a great job this year of summarizing what we do. We're not really a marketing ad agency. We're in the business of...
I don't remember what I said.
Now we come full circle. Making businesses money.
Oh, making businesses money.
That's it. Yeah. That's what we do.
Right. I mean,
How could you forget that already?
Listen, we've done a lot of podcasts. Last week 100 of them. Was the most intense week we've had so far this year, which has only been 2 weeks. But
it was a lot. It was a lot. All right. Well, listen, we're going to check in with you next time. So it's every Monday.
Every Monday we release an episode. So
we'll see you then.
Keep a lookout. Bye.
Bye-bye.